Welcome to season 2 of the LB Show. I'm LB. This season, we're changing it up just a little bit. We're giving you more facts and less opinion. Make sure you go to our website to check out all of our resources so that you can do some additional research on your own. Now, prepare to get stung because the solve is not included. And we are back continuing with this educational, historical, medical, healthcare conversation in regards to double standards and how plastic surgery has impacted society and how women feel about themselves. So let's just jump right in here. Plastic surgery goes back to ancient Egyptian times where plastic surgery was used to help fix broken noses so people could, breathe. But the evolution of plastic surgery and where it is today can be a little bit out of control. And the extremes that women, some men, but mostly women, go through to have their bodies look a certain way. Like Sarah Bartman. If you watched the last episode, you saw what Sarah Bartman looks like. So they do things to their bodies to help them look like Sarah Bartman. Hourglass. Now, in an article that you can find on our research page on our website, plastic surgery, this is a quote, plastic surgery should be appreciated as a dynamic, consistently expanding and evolving broad-based medical specialty that defies definition, not restricted by anatomical boundaries or patient age groups, based on principle rather than limited procedures, with interventions ranging from complex craniofacial-based reconstructions to aesthetic procedures. Now, when it comes to plastic surgery and those that get procedures that are deemed medically necessary, like for people that may have been burned in a fire or some type of chemical burn and maybe a car accident or some type of disease that took away a body limb or something like that that needs to be replaced, those are okay. You need to fix your nose so that you can breathe. I get that too. But where it goes to the extreme is like when you see these women that have these ungodly breasts that are like in the Z cup, which is out to here, bigger than my reach. That's unhealthy. It does damage to your back, to your legs. You could have some other type of underlying issues that you may not know exist because you have all of these things done to your body that is very unnatural. Now, women, for the most part, are made to feel like they need to look a certain way to maybe catch a husband, maybe get a promotion at work, maybe move themselves forward in the influential space of social media, maybe make more money on their job if they work in some form of the entertainment industry, any of those things. And it's not necessarily a healthy thing. I mean, there's a whole procedure called the BBL, which is named after a country because that's where people could go and get it where it was cheaper. The first B stands for Brazil. Hola, Brazil. That's not. Mm, I mean, it's acceptable in today's society, but why is it necessary? Because you are looking at, all of these actresses that do things, that go on these yo-yo type of diets, or have this plastic surgery to make them look younger, or get these boob jobs, or put things in their body and then they don't know what they are. I mean, if you look at the history of how some of these things have influenced communities over time, there was a time period, which this has been well documented by some celebrities, where they were getting these butt injections. Now, the correct way, if you're going to do butt injections, should be to have medical grade silicone. That's what you're supposed to use. But it's still a foreign substance that you are injecting into your booty to make it bigger, which means that it is not healthy and not always safe. But what some people were doing, because they couldn't afford the medical grade silicone, or they couldn't afford to go to Brazil to get the BBL, they was going in these back alleys like they did before abortions became legal, and then they would get these foreign substances injected into their booties, which caused them to have all types of medical problems, like stuff eating away at your skin, at your tissue on the inside, not being able to sit down, not being able to have proper bowel movements, not being able to, go to the bathroom, impacting your other organs on the inside of your body, like your kidneys and your liver and stuff like that, because you want to have a big booty, because you saw some celebrity that got this done and maybe had the procedure done the correct way because that's something that they could afford, but you couldn't afford it, but you still wanted to look like said person, or maybe because you're trying to look like some type of cartoon character like Betty Boop or Jessica Rabbit. Not okay. And the problems that come along with that is that when you have these things in your body, then all of a sudden, when your body rejects it because it's not natural, it causes all of these other issues that you have to have surgically removed, which then costs you hundreds of thousands of more dollars that are unnecessary because you said, oh, I want to have this perfect booty, so I'm going to go get me a BBL, and your body rejects it because it's not natural. So then it's all of these other things. But who is really setting the standard? Is it women or is it men? Who is telling you that you need to look like this? Now, back in the early stages of Hollywood, there were some naturally curvaceous women. We're going to talk a little bit about that later. But there were some naturally curvaceous women, but they had a little help. But their help was with undergarments, not necessarily with plastic surgery. Now, in today's society, social media is a huge influence. And a couple years ago, there was an influencer who, I'm not going to say what her name is, but she comes from a family that I just don't understand why they are famous in the first place. I've talked about it before. But she was doing this thing where she had talking about her lips to get the perfect pucker. Now, a lot of minorities, women, we already have full lips naturally. But for those that don't, they were putting their lips inside of a bottle, like a water bottle, and then pulling it off. And the suction would make their lips bigger. When you would see these videos of these young, melanated young ladies doing this, their lips would be like 5 times the size they already were natural. They were already naturally had the natural plumpness. So then they walking around looking like Boo Boo the Fool. And like, I don't understand how this happened. And in my mind, as I was watching some of these videos, I'm just like, your lips were fine before. But because you're being influenced by somebody who doesn't have a natural lip of plumpness, it's thin like paper, you decided that this is what you're going to do. And then you're stuck like that for weeks because it has to go down on its own. That's the power of what media can do, what social media can do, what influencers can do. And that's not okay. Because what if some young lady who was trying to get like said celebrity did this and busted a vessel in their lips or did some type of permanent damage to where it had to be a surgical procedure to get your lips to look back normal how they were beforehand? Is that necessary? No. There are lip plumpers, like cosmetic, with a little lip gloss in it that will plump your lips naturally if that's what you're looking to do. But if you're a melanated woman, 9 times out of 10, you're already going to have that. And the thing about how all of these things overlap, intersection with each other, is that you have this to say all of these features on women of color are horrible, but then when a non-melanated woman goes and does these things to make themselves look more like melanated women, then it's the best thing since forever. Give me a break. At some point, all women have been unhappy with their bodies because that's really just kind of a part of life and how things work. Every now and again, you're just like, I want to change this, So you do something like change your hair color. Or, maybe cut it, maybe start using different makeup, maybe dress a little differently, start working out. That's a nice healthy way to make changes to your body. Nothing wrong with that. Go for a walk or something. But when you go to the point of the extreme of doing medical procedures that could go drastically wrong for your body, that is where we start to have problems. That is where we begin to have issues. And that is how people can end up in the hospital and they lose out on, living life because they're trying to look like something that's not natural to them. Now, if you need to have some type of plastic surgery because you're trying to fix something or whatever the case may be, I get that. Skin grafts or, you were in a bad car accident or whatever. I understand that. But if you're in a D cup and you want to go to like a K, I don't get it. If you're in a D cup, your boobs are already big. Why do you want to go to something that's going to make you be walking like this in 10 years? Because this is how you're going to be walking. Hunched over, shoulders like this. You're not going to be able to stand up straight, put your shoulders back, square up to nobody. You're not going to have the capacity to do that because you're going to be in pain. Your back is going to start hurting eventually, and if you are already a person that doesn't weigh a lot, your legs will eventually start to hurt. Internally, it can cause you additional problems. But I'm not a medical professional. I'm just saying. I just did a little research, because I like to read. welcome to welcome to the show. Um it's if you want to be a sex symbol, you got to look a certain way. The influence of those type of women, and then men too, because women are not the only ones that do plastic surgery. Men do it too for different reasons. But it's all about the aesthetics of how you want to look as a person to the outside world. So it's just like, are you happy with yourself? Maybe, maybe not. If you're unhappy with yourself, you say, maybe I'll just get a little plastic surgery. I'll just do a little thing here. I'll just do a little lipo. I'll just do a little tummy tuck. And the next thing you know, nope, I'm getting a nose job. I'm getting veneers. I'm getting my ears pinned. You know, I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm getting bigger boobs, smaller thighs, a smaller waist, and a big old booty. And then you look like a plastic doll, and walking around here looking like a cuckoo bird. Just stop. Be happy with the way that you are. If there's something that you don't like, there is a natural way to fix it where you don't have to necessarily go and do some extreme surgery. And you could die on the table. Who wants to die on an operating table because you were trying to get a bigger booty? Who does that? Not me. I mean, I got natural curves, so I'm trying to get rid of some of this stuff. Just like, hey, I go on walks because I'm trying to get to a healthier lifestyle. But to each their own. Social media is a huge influence on women and some men that want to go the plastic surgery route so they can look better, feel better about themselves. It's not a bad thing. It's just not something that's for everybody. And you have to know what does and what doesn't work for you. So we're going to leave you with this quote for today from a renowned photographer that has shot for Vogue magazine and Elle and Cosmopolitan and all these other influential beauty magazines. Beauty is emotional. That's why plastic surgery never works. You change your nose, your lips, and other body parts, but you don't understand that you are erasing your magic. Mario Testino. Stop erasing your magic. Come back next time because we got more to talk about. Thanks for tuning in to the LB Show. We hope you learned something today. The conversation doesn't end here. Send this to two people and keep it buzzing.